Hi everyone, I've got a dream job success story for you. Haven't had one of these for a while, and it's from A, and she lives in New York City. Hi, and yes, I live in New York City area and I work in corporate tech. I have had a really successful and fulfilling career until this point. In the last year, I had fallen into a weird place with my career where I wasn't happy with my job or the company I worked for. I would dread going to work and was at a crossroads because the things going on in the company were not in alignment with my personal value system. I had reached a place of burnout, but hadn't realized that was the case. From the outside, it looked like I had the perfect job. However, every day at work felt like a battle, and I wished that I didn't have to work for this company anymore. Plus, my focus was on other aspects of my life that were going really well, and so I wasn't paying attention to the imbalance or contrast I was experiencing with the job. I had an energy healing and a coaching business on the side. I am a pranic healer and I am actively involved in pranic healing community. I teach, lead meditations as well as helping organizing pranic healing workshops and events. For those of you that are not familiar with pranic healing, it is a no-touch energy healing modality that can be used to heal physical, mental, and emotional conditions anywhere from a simple cold to chronic conditions like cancer, autoimmune ailments, as well as psychological conditions. It is a complementary modality that works well with modern medicine as well as other healing modalities. And I find that when I use it along with the techniques of the law of attraction manifesting, the results are amazing. In February, there were 2 companies that reached out to me. It felt like a bridge of events was playing out to get me to a different company. Out of the 2, one was on my list of top 3 companies I would love to work for. Let's call them Company 1. They are a very large leading global tech company and I have admired the founder for many years now. As you might remember, I reached out to you around that time as I had my final interview round with Company 1 and I wanted to apply living in the end. After the final interview round, I wasn't selected. I was disappointed, but now looking back, I wasn't ready to start a new job. I was so exhausted and burnt out that my passion for my career had died. I also realized that I wasn't clear about what exactly I wanted in my next job and had fallen into this victim mindset when it came to my career. There were a lot of beliefs that I picked up from the industry, situations of friends and peers, and I subconsciously picked up that I wasn't aware of. Fear, insecurity of what was happening in the tech industry was all that was in the news and in conversations with people at work. I decided that I needed to change this immediately. So at that point, I decided to give myself a career break and just focus on my pranic healing coaching business and spiritual practice. I wanted to use this period to get rid of those beliefs and negative thinking patterns, emotions that weren't serving me, as well as heal from the past events. I had a few international trips with friends coming up, and they were exactly what I needed to disconnect from everything. I came back from my trips feeling renewed and recharged. I was really enjoying this change of pace. I had created a routine for a lot of self-care, self-healing, my spiritual practice, healing client sessions, and working on various pranic healing projects that I am involved in. In August, I finally felt like I was ready to start applying for jobs again, and so I started applying for interviews as well as working on my interview prep skills. However, each time I would attend an interview or apply to a job, I would keep thinking about Company 1. In September, I started to have clarity about my job and decided to really focus on manifesting that. So I was doing self-love and living in the end for dream job meditation once a day, while repeating 1 to 2 affirmations throughout the day. There is also 2 Florence Scovel Shinn affirmations that I've used in the past, so I was repeating these as well. I was just bringing myself to a general state of being employed and not really focusing on a specific company. In October, all of a sudden, I had recruiters reaching out to me out of nowhere. Although many of them were companies that I wasn't interested in, the job title, responsibilities, and pay matched what I wanted. I just kept attending those interviews as a way to keep myself in the interview mode. Lo and behold, mid-October, a recruiter from Company One reached out to me and asked for my availability for an interview. I was really confused because I know for the fact that I did not apply to the job she was talking about. When I got a call with her, she told me that she was friends with the recruiter I worked with back in February. They really liked me at the time, but for some reason it didn't work out. This position opened in the same group but a parallel team, and they reached out to me to see if I was still interested. And I agreed to interview for this position. This is when I started applying, living in the end, and did the work for a very specific company. Did the working for a very specific company, meditation, every day in addition to self-love. I had my second interview round, which went well, after which they were going to schedule my interview with the hiring manager. Now, here's where another unimaginable thing happens. They were interviewing me for an industry vertical that wasn't exactly my expertise, but I had the experience to work in. The hiring manager of the industry vertical where I have the most experience, which was where I truly wanted to stay, had started his recruiting process a few weeks before to the rest of the industry groups and was in the final stages with 2 other candidates. Almost ready to send one of them an offer letter. However, this recruiter reached out to him saying he should consider talking to me. He was hoping the new hire would be in the Washington, D.C. to be regionally aligned. When he saw my resume, he loved my experience and background and decided to have a conversation with me, regardless of location, as I was pretty close. That interview went so well, and the coolest thing was I somehow shared certain things about pranic healing, meditation, and philanthropy work. The final round was a panel interview for which they gave me a prompt to build a presentation. The guidelines were the same as the prompt I received the last time, but guess what? This time in my intro, they asked me to include details about my interests and community work. It was as though the whole thing was set up to be in my favor. And so, as a part of my intro, I had a slideshow including different pictures from me teaching meditation, community work, and pranic healing. I mentioned how important my spiritual practice was to me and how my value system guides how I show up at my work. The presentation went really well, and we only had a couple of minutes at the end. The VP on the call says to me, "I know we didn't get to talk about company culture, but we had our global kickoff this Monday and we started it with a meditation. I do not know if this is a coincidence, but I think you will be a great fit for our company." At that moment, I finally understood what I couldn't in the last few years. The reason I stayed at my previous job was because I stopped believing in possibilities. I thought I would never find a company that had values that aligned to my personal values. I received my offer letter a few days after the final round. I signed my offer letter last week, and my starting date is December 2nd, 2024. The interview process was around 3 weeks. I wrote a script after the 3rd round describing the interview process and job offer letter details. And everything played out almost identically to my script, including my offer letter. I'm so thrilled and cannot wait for this next chapter of my career to begin. Thank you, Agnes, for your guidance and support. I have loved watching your success stories all these years and never thought I would be sending one as I am a bit private when it comes to such things. However, I do agree that it is such a positive reinforcer to hear the successes of others. I am riding on the wave of high energy from this manifestation and using it to work on the next couple of things I'm looking to manifest. Lots of love, and we'll write soon with my next big manifestation. Best A. That's wonderful. Wow, so much good stuff in there. Now, I am going to put down below the dream job playlist for those of you that are stuck in jobs that you don't like and you would love to get out. And maybe you want to start your own thing. There is another playlist, Business and Startups. You can have a look at that. I will put the Dream Job Meditations playlist down below for you as well. And I think that's it. Lots of love, everyone, and I'll see you as always in the next YouTube.